fact that there is even an expo of this kind is certainly very telling. What does it say about the trade relationship between these two countries in general and how significant that relationship is?
I think it's growing in importance, especially because there's so much uncertainty with respect to international geopolitical relations. Brazil has been actively engaging with a more dense, more important relationship with China, and both on the investment front and on the trade front. So I think that is a good perspective. Macroeconomic, there's not such an alarm. And the main strategic long-term perspective is that the government Lula is also looking for global, independent, non-aligned partners. So China and Brazil have a match in terms of geopolitics, in terms of attention to growth, and last but not least, the importance of the consumption, the rise of the consumption market in Brazil. This is really a long-term prospect now.
If we could talk about specifics, what are some Chinese products that Brazilians are particularly interested in, and why those particular items?
Well, there has been really a very important rise in e-commerce. So Shein, Shopee, there are so many important business cases in Brazil that are related to the penetration of Chinese retail. So consumption, especially the fashion industry, for instance, there is a huge demand in Brazil for Chinese products. I think that there is a parallel movement, both the digital and the physical, they one mirror each other. And the fact is that in the past, Chinese products were seen as low quality. Now Chinese is part of the fashion, is part of an opportunity for everyone to buy cheaper, but keeping quality.
You know, just a few months ago in June, Brazil's vice president signed several trade deals with China on things like sustainable development, agriculture, and infrastructure. So what are we likely to see coming out of these deals, and how do you see this trade relationship evolving in the future for both sides?
Well, there's one key issue everyone is watching this, and this is the participation of Brazil in the Silk Road project. I think this is still open. It's still a very important strategic long-term commitment that we haven't seen so far. We see more talk. We see that these relationships are getting closer and closer, but once Brazil really engages with long-term infrastructure projects in energy and transportation, and of course investments, the Silk Road will be part of the Brazilian landscape as well.
I want to talk, if you could, on the overall climate for trade, not just in Brazil, but the region itself. You know, Alistair just had a story about Mexico City and Mexico and China trade. I know it's, you know, every country is different, but generally speaking, what is I guess, the Chinese economic impact on Brazil, on other countries in South America and towards the north?
Well, I think there's a great expectation that will be a commitment, a matching of commitments in the trade area and the environmental area. Brazil this year is heading the G20. And there's a lot of expectation with respect to climate change, natural disasters, all the environmental and energy issues. So I think that if both governments reach an agenda where long-term infrastructure, energy and environment match trade goals, trades and services, this will be like a long-term roadmap for trade to be part of a strategic development in Brazil.
Gilson Schwartz with the University of Sao Paulo, thank you so much for joining our program today.
Thank you very much.